And the drama with Fani Willis continues.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. This is the Afternoon Drive. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That'll give you a notification of my rants, my ravings, and my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. That's how we get the word out that we're here. Share the link on your social media platforms. That's the only way we can grow our audience, and I thank you. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Well, the case in Georgia has just been dealt another blow, and it's another win for Team Trump. President Donald Trump and 8 of the co-defendants had officially given notice that they wanted an appeal of the decision given by Judge McAfee as to the disqualification of Fani Willis. Remember, he said that there's impropriety here. Certainly, people would be distracted by all of this. Therefore, for the case to continue, Nathan's hot dog either has to go or Fani and the whole office has to go. So he split the baby, and Nathan, of course, submitted his resignation. And legal minds on both sides of the aisle, both liberal and conservative, have said the ruling makes absolutely no sense. So, obviously, Team Trump filed an appeal. Now, it was up to Judge McAfee to decide whether or not this appeal had merit and could go forward. And he signed off on it. Yes, this absolutely should be looked at as to whether there are grounds here for appeal. Now, this gets kicked to the appeals court, and they have 45 days to decide whether or not they would like to hear further evidence as to why Fani Willis should not remain as the prosecutor. I haven't known quite what to do with this judge. I'm going to issue a cautious apology. Now, hear me out before you jump down my throat. I'm going to issue a cautious apology. It is obvious to everyone that has followed any of this case that there are ethics violations everywhere, that Fani and Nathan were engaged in an affair before she hired him. She then hired him, paid him an exorbitant amount of money, much more than any other DA or attorney firm being contracted by the DA's office gets paid. She benefited from it. She has no ability to produce any receipts that she paid any of this back. The two of them lying and saying it was all done in cash, doesn't pass the laugh test. The judge all but acknowledged all of that. And the judge was absolutely ripped and ticked that at the beginning of this, Fani went into a black church on a Sunday and, played the race card, played the woman card, and talking about the co-defendants, talking about this case outside of the court setting in a place like an Atlanta church where, let's see, a black congregation and 75% of the population black. So if this thing were to make it to trial, guess where the jury pool is going to come from? And the judge basically said that what Fani did was tantamount to jury tampering. In other words, trying to influence a jury before they actually heard the evidence in a trial setting. So there was a lot that this judge, he saw right through it. Now, he's trying to thread the needle that Georgia law is pretty vague in its wording of how you remove a district attorney, a prosecuting attorney. I think he knows how corrupt this woman is. He is facing re-election. He's got a Democratic challenger. He worked for her. I think he went through the motions, that he worded and put this thing together in such a way that it was guaranteed to trigger Team Trump to want an appeal. Now follow me on this. I think he did this on purpose. I think he wanted to be able to tell Fani, hey, look, you know what? I did what I could do to try to keep you as the prosecuting attorney on this and this moving forward. Team Trump, they have the right to appeal this, and I'm going to let an appeals court make this decision. I think he knows how much Nathan Wade, Fani, and Bradley lied and perjured themselves in that courtroom. And he's angry about it. As a judge, he is infuriated that they would put him in that position to have to cover for them. I think he is infuriated about it, but being a political animal himself, he wants to keep his job. He wants to get reelected, and he knows if he throws the, quote, black woman under the bus, that in Atlanta, he in hot water. He wants her under the bus. He wants her gone. He just doesn't want to be the guy to do it. So, if you will, he's contracting this out. He's all but signaling the appeals court, these people are corrupt. They got to go. All of them. They got to go. I really believe that's what he's done here. And in some other late-breaking developments, we find out that the money that Fani used to pay these exorbitant fees to Nathan Wade were not all fees from the county that she can use at her discretion. That the Trump team attorneys found out that $100,000 of the money that went to Nathan Wade were federal funds. Bump, ba-dump, bump. And federal funds are governed a whole lot differently than county and state funds are. You've got to have a paper trail. And there are specific things that you can and cannot spend those federal funds on. And one of the things that you cannot spend those federal funds on, come on, it's on the tip of your tongue. You know what I'm about to say? Salaries for lovers. Salaries for anybody. That's not what those funds are for. They're not for salaries. And yet, she took $100,000 of that money, and that is exactly what she used it for. And she won't be able to say, oh, I'm dealing cash. No, the federal government has a paper trail. The attorneys for Trump have the paper trail. Over $100,000 of federally regulated money went to Nathan Wade on the approval of Fani Willis. You've got the state legislative body looking into this. You have the lieutenant governor of the state looking at this going, she cut the baby in half. Even Kemp, who hates Trump, is a Chino, not just a rhino, a Chino. He's in bed with China. It's going to be not, shall we say, to their political advantage on any level to keep this woman around anymore. You're going to see the state legislative body, and I think the bar is going to get involved here, and, some oversight group on ethics is going to get involved here, and Fani Willis is going to be history. We wanted the judge to do it, but he just wasn't willing to pull that trigger living there in Fulton County, but he set it up, and even you look at the way he worded what they did. I mean, he all but came right out and said these people are absolutely guilty of this. He came just this far away from saying that, but he certainly implied it to the point where he said, obviously, people looking at this is what they're going to see. That's why we got to split this team up. Other jurists are going to look at this and say, no, you don't punish one and the other one gets to just walk away scot-free. It's like Wade wasn't doing these things in a vacuum alone. He had a minion, a henchman in this, and that was Fani Willis. And so I really think that the judge here played a game of chess and rather shrewdly, literally set his former boss up for this fall. I'm this close to outright declaring that, but I'm right here that I give this cautious apology that maybe he's not quite the wimp and the wuss that I thought he was, but actually a little bit more shrewd. Now, the truth is, though, he still can't tell his kids that he has integrity, because he said that's, he wants to make this decision and be able to look at his kids in the eye and say, I did what was right. He really didn't, because he had the authority to absolutely throw her off the case. He didn't do it because he's looking out for his own backside and he wants to be reelected. But he definitely created the paper trail, and the wording of his decision is in such a way that the appeals court is going to look at this and say, yeah, she gotta go.